Do you think 2025 will be another almost a year for Washington? Think again, Redskins. Because what's brewing in Ashburn is so hot that even the ghost of Gibbs is rubbing hands. First stop, uniforms that will shake your emotional memory. Will the burgundy that made Snyder cry return, or is it just a rebrand to hush the critics? And the name change we all want? Don't get distracted, this isn't fashion, it's identity. And that's not all. Betrayal in Cincinnati. A star wide receiver is about to escape, and the Commanders have their checkbook wide open. Is it worth breaking the bank for a lethal weapon that would put Daniels in video game mode? Spoiler, if you think McLaurin deserves a battle brother scarier than the DC Metro at 5 p.m., this will leave you trembling. But wait! An immortal just dropped the prophecy. Do you know what the Hall of Famer legend said about the rookie who drove us crazy in 2024? Washington has the formula, and they're coming for everything. Could this be the sign that Snyder's damn curse is broken? Commanders, are you ready for the revolution? Don't miss a second, activate notifications right now and leave your like if you demand this team to return to being a temple of war. Subscribe or risk being left behind when history is written. And stay until the end, because what's coming will bring tears of pride. Attention Commanders! Historic changes are coming. Will the glories of the past return, or is it just a patch? I tell you this, Commanders family. Remember those glory days, those uniforms that made FedEx Field vibrate like a temple of war? Well, buckle up, because the Commanders are planning a radical shift for 2025. And no, it's not a new quarterback. Jaden Daniels has already worked magic. We're talking about something that touches the soul of this franchise. What's happening? According to Grant Paulson from 106.7 The Fan, the management wants to reconnect with their historical roots, those from the Gibbs ERA, the Super Bowls, the epic battles. And yes, we're talking about uniforms, but not just any change. Will this be enough to heal the wounds of the past? Context: when Dan Snyder sold the team in 2023, he left a legacy of chaos. The name Commanders divided the fan base, the stadium filled with rival fans, and the colors weren't even the same. Burgundy? No, a burgundy that not even Gibbs would recognize. And now Josh Harris, the new owner, intends to take a sharp turn. The trigger, although Harris denied returning to the old name, you know which one. The pressure from the fans to reclaim their identity is so strong that the uniform adjustment seems like a compromise. According to Paulson, it's a fact, the 2025 uniforms will mimic the iconic designs of the 80s-90s. Will the classic burgundy return? The golden stripes? I ask, do uniforms really matter? Of course they do. Didn't we cry when we saw Darryl Green with those golden sleeves? This change is not superficial, it's a symbol of respect for the history that Snyder buried. But what about the name? That's the dilemma. I believe, if Harris wants to heal wounds, he must listen to the fans. Yes, the Commanders made a huge leap in 2024, 12-5 NFC Championship, but the disconnect with the past remains a thorn. Will retro uniforms be enough? I don't know, but it's a first step. What I do demand, let the burgundy be the same as before. Let that blood color, that pride, shine again. The key question, what about the black uniform? Fans love it. Will it stay? Paulson says the adjustments will be for home and away, but the black could remain. A mistake? Not at all. It combines modernity with tradition. My argument, Washington is not just a team, it's a religion. Snyder turned it into a joke, but Quinn and Harris are rescuing it. These uniforms are more than fabric, they are a bridge between generations. But be careful, if it's just a gesture and there's no substance in future decisions, the fans will know. Now I ask you, do you think changing the uniforms to the Gibbs style is enough? Or should they take the final step and correct the name? Classic burgundy or black? What do you prefer? Maximum alert in Washington. T. Higgins to the Commanders? A move that would change everything. Listen up, Commanders. Remember that electric feeling when Jaden Daniels led this team to the NFC Championship in his rookie year? Well, buckle up again. Because the Commanders are in the sights of a signing that could make this attack unstoppable. I'm talking about T. Higgins, the star receiver from the Bengals. And yes, this is the opportunity. What's happening? According to Jordan Dejani from CBS Sports, Washington is in a key position to steal Cincinnati's number 2 WR, a man who scored 10 touchdowns in 12 games this season. Why would the Bengals let him go? Money, folks, money. Cincinnati has to pay Jamar Chase and Trey Hendrickson. And Higgins? He's the weak link. Can you imagine T. Higgins alongside Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels? That's a ticking time bomb. But don't get too excited yet. Do the Commanders really need him? Absolutely. Terry is a warrior, but who else in that receiver room scares defenses? No one. The Commanders have a unique window of opportunity. With Jaden Daniels still on his rookie contract, the salary cap space is huge. It's now or never to surround him with explosive talent. And Higgins, at 26 with hands of steel, is the perfect target. The Bengals GM, Duke Tobin, already admitted it will be hard to keep him. Translation? We don't have the money to pay him what he's worth. And here comes Josh Harris, owner of the Commanders, with the checkbook open. The stars are aligned. This is not just a signing, it's a statement of intent. Washington doesn't just want to be a playoff team, they want the ring. And Higgins is that X factor that divides defenses. With him, Daniels would have a top 10 receiver duo in the league. Can you imagine McLaurin stretching the field and Higgins killing it on intermediate routes? I can. But what about the risk? Higgins has had injury problems, only 12 games in 2024. Is it worth investing heavily in him? Absolutely. At 26, he's in his physical peak, and in a system like Dan Quinn's, which prioritizes receiver rotation, his impact would be immediate. What if they don't sign him? They continue relying on an inconsistent Jahan Dotson and a Curtis Samuel who comes and goes. Is that enough to win a Super Bowl? No! Higgins is not a luxury. He's a necessity. If the Bengals don't value Higgins, let the Commanders give him his due. Opportunities like this don't come around often. And with the ambition of this franchise, after reaching the NFC Championship, are they going to settle for less? Now it's your turn. Do you think Washington should break the bank for T. Higgins? Or is it smarter to invest that money in the defense? Total alert, Burgundy and Gold family. Do you think Jaden Daniels is just a lucky rookie? Well, a Hall of Famer just gave you a lesson. Champ Bailey, the legend who wore this jersey, just dropped a bomb. Washington has the winning formula. And guess who the secret ingredient is? Number 5. What did Bailey say? In an explosive interview, the former Commanders and Broncos cornerback made it clear that the franchise is finally in good hands. Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, they have the recipe for success. Jaden Daniels is the QB they needed. And watch out! Bailey doesn't speak lightly. 4 Pro Bowls in Washington, 8 more in Denver, and a bust in Canton. Are you going to argue with him? Washington went from 4 wins in 2023 to 12-5 in 2024, reaching the NFC Championship. The reason? Jaden Daniels. Adam Peters picking talent. Dan Quinn changing the culture. And Harris cleaning up Snyder's toxic legacy. The result? FedEx Field became a fortress again. Bailey's key phrase, to choose the right players, you need the right people making decisions. And boy, did they make them. Daniels wasn't the only QB available in the draft, but did anyone imagine this impact? 4,300 yards, 35 TDs, elegance under pressure. Rookie of the Year and Team Soul. I ask, is this the rebirth of a dynasty? Champ believes so. The fans endured 20 years of misery, but their loyalty is unbreakable. And now, with Harris and Magic Johnson investing seriously, the party has just begun. But what about the shadows? Watch out, don't celebrate too soon. 2024 was magical, but the NFL doesn't forgive. Will Daniels withstand the pressure in 2025? Can Peters keep hitting in the draft? Bailey says yes, Washington drafts very well now. But I remind you, the NFL is what have you done for me lately. The burning detail, Bailey mentions that the fans were loyal, but silent during the Snyder era. Why? Out of shame. Snyder turned this pride into a meme. But now, look at those full stands. Massive trips to Tampa, to Detroit. Doesn't that give you chills? I believe this is just the beginning. Harris didn't buy a team to be mediocre. He bought a legacy. With Daniels under center, McLaurin putting on a show, and a defense that breathes fire. Who can stop these Sharks? The burning question, will Washington be a real threat for the Super Bowl in 2025? Bailey says yes, but what about you? Do you believe the Harris plus Daniels formula is infallible? Watch out! The NFC East is still a meat grinder. Cowboys thirsty for revenge, Eagles reorganizing, Giants, well, be serious. Final argument, if Bailey, a man who lived the glories and defeats of this franchise, says Washington is on the right path, I believe him. But don't get complacent. Greatness is not given, it's conquered. And with Daniels at the helm, we have a general. Now it's your turn. Do you think Jaden Daniels is the QB who will lead Washington to the Super Bowl? Or is there much more to prove? Now it's your turn. Do you think the return to Gibbs-style uniforms is enough to reclaim the team's historical essence? Or should they take the final step and correct the name to fully honor the legacy? Is this pure nostalgia or a strategic move? I want to read your theories. But the debate doesn't end there. Should Washington break the bank for a talent like T. Higgins to revolutionize the offense, or is it smarter to invest that money in strengthening a defense that remains a weak point? What hurts more, attacking or defending? Share your passionate opinions. And the big question, is Jaden Daniels the prodigy QB who will lead Washington to the Super Bowl, or is it too soon to crown him the chosen one? Do you trust your instincts or believe the offensive front needs more pieces before dreaming big? If you're passionate about these debates, subscribe now. Every like, comment, and subscription strengthens this community that lives and breathes football. Ready to be part of the conversation that defines the team's future? Activate the bell and start today. What would you do in the management's place? Leave your opinion and let's burn in the comments. And remember, hail to the Redskins!